Everybody, peace. Welcome to the Started Body Show. Wherever or however you're listening, we're so grateful to have you here with us. As you guys know, I'm your host, Kashawn Cottle, and I'm joined here today, as usual, by the amazing, the wonderful, the fantastic Mr. Dre Pennington.
Hey, what up, my boy? How we doing? We back.
We are back, baby.
How we doing, Brody?
Dre, I'm amazing right now, bro. I am in a great space of life right now, man. How about you? How you feeling?
Good, bro. Good. Feeling better every day. Quick check. How we doing physically and mentally?
Physically, I'm doing amazing. As we talked about last time, I was trying to put on about 3 or 4 pounds of muscle, and I have achieved that goal. So
Uh-oh.
physically, I'm great, man. Spiritually, I am, like I said, I'm in a really great space. I'm really learning how to really just submit myself completely unto God, unto the Most High, and to allow Him to really just guide my path in all aspects. So less stress with that.
Yeah.
Emotionally, fantastic, because there's no emotional strings to anything. So that's good. Yeah, I'm good, bro. I'm fantastic, man.
See, we love to hear that. Those are things we love to hear. Physically getting better every day. I'll say that.
Okay.
Mentally also getting better every day. Now working in that corporate world, it's like
Oof.
a lot of different things that I didn't expect that you can get frustrated with or mentally like blocked with, but getting better with it, understanding it
What's
more.
been the most surprising thing since going corporate?
I would say I know it's not a surprise, but it was a surprise to me. Is like people. I think people in the corporate world, it's very shocking how you deal. Like um each day a person can like their not their intentions, but how they treat others can change on just basically what happened to them earlier in the day, like 20 minutes before that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So projecting
Yeah.
your emotion on. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, like we said, projecting your emotional now to someone else. But yeah, like that is, I would say, what is one of the most shocking things in the corporate world. You kind of get used to.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
What's been the
And
best
then
part? What's been the best part about going corporate?
oh man, once you find that place where you feel like where I'm working now, where you feel as though it's like your environment, what you strive for, what you want to be in,
Mhm.
then it's like, all right, yeah, I feel like I can do some damage here.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
you're just adapting.
Yeah, adapting real easy. It's
Love
easy.
it.
He's got to do it.
Don't have a choice, right?
Yeah, don't got no choice. Yeah,
Got you. Okay, so spiritually, man, how you feeling?
spiritually, I'm always good, man. I can't wait to. I'm supposed to be going, going home in a little bit. Well, not home, but going to Missouri, go see the folks.
Love it.
Going to, see people that I needed around me. That usually covers me. Get a little prayer in again, but
Hmm.
always spiritually good, man. Always praying it up and everything.
Yes, it's always great to have people praying for you, praying over you, and it's such an amazing feeling to be around family, especially after you haven't been around them for an extended period of time. You feel with so much joy, man, and happiness, and it's it's almost a surreal experience, man. You can't really explain it sometimes.
Facts. This is definite facts.
Mm-hmm. Well, Dre, I'm glad you're doing fantastic, bro. I'd love to hear it. And welcome to the corporate world. But Dre, we got a lot to talk about today, man.
I know.
We've got the return of college football finally after 9 months. Um, we got some WNBA action, playoff recap to go over.
We love to
We
hear it.
we've got some breaking news to cover in regards to the college football playoff. We've got some breaking news with the NBA and your boy Donovan Mitchell. And
Big Louisville great, baby. Big Louisville great. We love to see it.
Dre, you got like 30 different teams you go for, man. You got the Warriors, you got the Chiefs, you got the
I don't even go for the Chiefs.
Patriots.
I just support all black quarterbacks, guys. This is my thing. That's my thing.
Even Tyrod Taylor.
That's crazy, but yeah, I will support him too.
Okay,
I root for him.
okay. And then Drave also are going to cover tennis for the first time on the show.
That's kind of crazy to think about. It's like the first time we've ever covered this.
Ever. We are
Yeah,
just expanding our horizon and our demographic and just showing that we're well-rounded sports analysis.
it's crazy.
Well, Dre, let's get right into it, man. Let's start with some college football. As you guys know, college football's kicking off this weekend, and we've got a huge slate of matchups to go over. One of them being the number 3 ranked Georgia Bulldogs going up against the Oregon Ducks. That game is going to be on Saturday at 3:30 Eastern Time. And Dre, as of right now, the uh, the line is Georgia by 17. So, what are
um,
your expectations? What are your thoughts for this game right here?
so I honestly any SEC team that goes up against any usual like Pac-12 team, it usually never goes well for the Pac-12 in my recent history that I've watched it.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna go with Georgia, but the 17-point spread, I would go under that a little bit if anyone is out there. I'm gonna guess by two TDs, a little like or a little bit under.
Mhm.
I just feel as though Georgia wins the line of scrimmage and they're gonna win that line. I think they're just bigger. I don't know better because they lost so many players. They lost a lot,
Yeah,
but I can see them, retooling and doing well and kind of getting back into it. So I got Georgia.
got Georgia. Okay, Dre, you talked about the amount of players that Georgia lost. They lost 15 players to the draft, 7 of them on the defensive end. A few names being, Trayvon Walker, Jordan Davis, and Kobe Dean. I mean, those are huge positions to fill on the defensive end for Georgia. Even with those losses, do you still think Georgia's going to be able to compete defensively in this game with Oregon?
Yeah, I think just because we've always seen like teams such as Georgia, LSU, or Alabama, even when they lose, they still retool in recruiting and the backups to those guys that were starters, even though they left, like they still had a lot of guys getting a lot of playing time and getting some reps in.
Yeah.
And so you see, I think if you've seen those backups play when they were having those blowout games, you see some guys who are going to be stars and studs. So I still got Georgia being great. Now, as far as finishing off the year being great in that top 4 team, I don't know.
Yeah.
But starting the year, I think they do beat Oregon.
Okay. And Dre, offensively with Georgia, we talked about this a little bit last year, how they struggle offensively, and
Yeah.
especially with Stetson Bennett. I remember you talked about on one of our live shows how he's more of a game manager as opposed to actual quarterback. What is Stetson Bennett going to have to do in this game right here to show that he's taking that next step from game manager to elite SEC level quarterback?
Well, I think the first thing that's going to happen is that, like I said before, they're going to win the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. So their offensive line is going to create holes for who I don't know who the running back is at the moment. Their offensive line is going to create holes for the running back. And then after that, that's when Stetson Bennett can just make small 5-10 yard passes. I don't think he has a big arm. I don't think that's in his repertoire.
Yeah.
And as far as like being the perfect quarterback, I don't think that's him. But as far as making the right throws, putting it in guys' hands, and then having their wide receivers or their running back go make a play, I think that's more of his speed. I think that's him in a nutshell.
And Dre, he's talking about him having to make a play. He never had, like, let's go back to last year. He never had to make a play. He just had to not turn the ball over.
Yeah.
And that is such a huge contrast between Stetson Bennett of Georgia, and then we've got Bo Nix, transfer from Auburn for Oregon, who was the SEC Freshman Player of the Year back in 2019, and who's known for making big plays. How do you think he'll transition into the Oregon offense in his first game against an elite level defense like Georgia?
Well, Oregon's offense struggled a lot last year, which is one of the things that they had to fix out. I think they had to fix and go out and get, or they just had to get better, honestly. So Oregon's gonna make some plays here and there, but Bo Nix is gonna have to be amazing for them to win.
Mm-hmm.
And then Oregon's defense is gonna be Oregon's defense. I think we having the notes right here. They finished number 1 last year.
Yeah.
So their defense is gonna be solid. I just don't know if they'll be able to do enough, like get enough stops, get enough, turnovers to put the ball back into Oregon's hands.
Yeah.
But as far as making, the only way I see this happening is if it's a close game and Stetson Bennett has to go out there and make a play. That's the only way I see Oregon winning this game.
Gotcha. And Dre, I want to just piggyback off what you said about this playmaking concept. In Oregon last year, they predominantly ran the ball more often than not because they didn't have much depth at the receiver position, or they had a lot of underclassmen as well. And with the return of Troy Franklin, who showed a lot of poise and a lot of spurts of explosiveness last year at the receiver position, bringing him back, having be the primary receiver, pairing him with Bo Nix, I think it's going to provide a lot of ingenuity and explosiveness for the offense of Oregon. However, on the defensive side, like you said, with most Pac-12 teams, they don't have much defense, and so the two of the bright spots on defense and for Oregon are linebacker Noah Sewell and cornerback Christian Gonzalez. And if Stetson Bennett can attack the secondary, which has been a sore spot for Oregon over the past couple of years, then I think that can really open up the ball, open up the play action pass, and also open up the interior, like you said, for Georgia. Personally, Dre, I think this game is going to start out close.
Ugly.
It's gonna by the time third quarter moves around, it's gonna get ugly because of the interior, like you said. That front seven for Georgia, especially on defense end, is going to create a lot of pressure. Force Bo Nix to get out of the pocket. I mean, I got this by a score 35-21, Georgia.
You got Georgia scoring that much? As much as we see they struggle with scoring the ball itself?
Yes, because I think Stetson Bennett is going to make that jump from game manager to elite level quarterback because of a necessity, because he knows now the defense, they don't have the same defense from last year. That defense they had last year was an all-time great team defense. So Georgia.
We'll go with all-time great. They won a championship, so they're great. Yes.
Oh gosh. But I think we're an all great team, and so he knows now that he has to make plays. He reminds me his progression is similar to that of AJ McCarron his freshman year or his sophomore year to his junior year, where he was just a game manager. The year they beat LSU in the championship, in the national championship, and then the next year where he showed a lot of poise and progression when they beat Notre Dame in the national championship. So I do think Stetson Bennett's going to make that leap, and I think Georgia's going to be riding off that high from the national championship and looking to repeat. I'm not sure what's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen, but
we'll see about that repeating part. Yeah.
But Dre, another matchup we have with the SEC team. Number 19 Arkansas going up against number 23rd ranked Cincinnati. As right now, the line is Arkansas by 6. What you got?
I got Arkansas winning, but 6. No, I think it's going to be a field goal win. Honestly.
Oh, you see, it's going to be close.
I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be really close. Honestly. You got something different? You not thinking the same thing?
I don't think this game's going to be close at all, man. I have this game being a blowout. I have Arkansas winning this game by a score of 42-17. Actually.
Wow, that big of a blowout.
Yes, and the reason I say that is because Cincinnati is losing their 2 starting cornerbacks from last season, so the secondary is depleted immensely. They also lost their starting quarterback from last year, who accounted for 67% of his offense in terms of passing and throwing. So I think Cincinnati's going to struggle, and we saw that they struggle physically on the interior against larger opponents.
That's true. Yes. But they did come off a game. They did come off a year where they had an amazing year, but they did get beat pretty badly. So the retooling, and everyone pretty much on that team was what, a junior or a senior?
Upperclassman.
Yeah, everyone was pretty much upperclassmen. So that's what you get when you get some of those teams. A bad blowout, 42, no, but I don't know. I just feel as though since Arkansas loses their wide receiver, their star wide receiver, Traylon Burke to the draft, I feel as though they struggle a little bit on that end of scoring. Defensive wise, they do okay. They're gonna be fine. But scoring, like I said, scoring now in college football, you have to be able to score.
Yes, you do. That's a good point, right? That's cool.
So
no, I'm not gonna put apple juice on that one, bro. I'm gonna wait for this other game right here. Okay.
what's that?
Ohio State, Notre Dame,
Ooh,
Dre,
ooh,
your boys, the Buckeyes,
ooh.
man.
Okay, no, still not my team, but yes, we'll go with that. The Buckeyes.
OSU, man. They're favored by 17 as of right now. Dre, what you got, man?
Blowout. Straight blowout. I've never been okay. Look, this is my thing. This is my thing. I have a real beef with Notre Dame because they overhype them every year. The college football rankings, the announcers, the team itself is overhyped every year because they want that old Notre Dame back. So whenever I see that Notre Dame is playing against an actual competition of a team and they're not playing against like bad opponents, I've seen them struggle and I've seen them get blown out.
What about what they did to Oklahoma State last year in the Fiesta Bowl?
That's cool. They did that last year. This is a whole new year. That's good. I'm going Notre Dame loses in a blowout because I believe that Ohio State is the better team. Physically, they're going to be a better team. They're going to impose their will. And I think Ohio State shows how dominant they really are and how they run college football.
They run college football, Ohio State.
Other than that one guy, that's down south, we're not going to talk about. but Ohio State, yes. When you think of college football, you think of several teams, and Ohio State is one of those teams.
Dre, listen, man, Ohio State has struggled. They were extremely sporadic last year in terms of their level of play.
Yeah.
The thing about Notre Dame is, they're not in the conference, so they get a lot of hate from all over, man. But the thing about Notre Dame right now, man, they brought in a new head coach, Marcus Freeman, who's going to provide a lot of stability and a lot of intensity, especially on the defensive end. And if you look at the recruits that he brought in a lot of guys that are bigger than normal recruits that Notre Dame is used to getting. And I think that Ohio State is riding, don't do that. Ohio State is riding off of this, this euphoric sense of superiority against Notre Dame, bro. And I know that that's going to bite them in the butt in this game, man. I think Notre Dame is embracing this underdog role, with Rudy and all that stuff. Anyway, so they're embracing that underdog role. And honestly, bro, I had Notre Dame winning this game by a score of 27-21.
You have 27-21?
Yes.
I have what's the spread? 17?
Yeah.
I don't think 17, but I'll go double digits. I'll go 10. I'm gonna say 17-27. I'll be around where you were. I just don't think that this is going to be. I don't think this is going to be as close as we were saying. I just have a feeling that it's not going to be like that.
I can't believe you have Ohio State winning this game.
I do. I don't know why. Ohio State early in the year. I've always noticed that Ohio State early in the year, they always start out pretty well, and as they get into conference play, they start getting worn down, and they like start to wear down against the Michigan States, the Michigans, the Penn States, but I just don't see Notre Dame having that strong of a line. First of all, you did say that they brought in great recruits, and they brought in recruits that are usually that are bigger. Yes, I get that, but you're talking about guys who are freshmen and sophomores against guys who are also 5 stars who are probably juniors and sophomores or maybe even seniors. So yeah. I have Ohio State winning because of the experience, but also because I think their head coach is phenomenal, and I think that they're going to ride off that Buckeye wave.
That Buckeye wave, Dre. I cannot wait to come in next week and just
gloat that you lost. It's okay.
That we won, of course. They won. But okay, Jay. So that's what we got for college football, man. let's talk some basketball, man. Let's talk some WNBA action. As you
We
guys
love
know
to
the
hear it.
playoff. As you know, the playoffs have been going on for the past couple of weeks. Dre, let's talk about the semifinal matchup between Las Vegas and Seattle. Currently, the series is tied at 1, with Game 3 being on Sunday. Uh, what have you seen so far, and what are your predictions, man, going into the rest of this?
So Aja Wilson to me is one of I didn't get to see her when she was at South Carolina, right? I didn't get to see her when she was at South Carolina playing, but I heard about her a lot, and so I watched the game every once in a while, and then I keep up with her just clips and stuff, and then I watched a game of hers when they were like earlier in the season, and she is dominant. Like I didn't realize how good she is. She is like she's good.
Yeah.
Um, and there's no overhype about her. Like she's the real deal.
Mm-hmm.
So, but she's going against Brianna Stewart, who is also I did watch her at UConn. And Brianna was also very dominant, also very good.
Mm-hmm.
But since in the NBA, like you said it, like we think about great players. And like if for a WNBA matchup, this is one you want to see, even though it is both bigs, but still like it's what you want to see. And then I think this is Sue Bird's last year
Yeah.
for Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
So it adds into that little bit of intensity. And then it creates a sense of rivalry that makes people want to watch the WNBA, that would make people want to watch WNBA.
Yeah.
So if by any chance anyone can watch, I would definitely say this is a chance for you too. But I think the Aces, it might be their year. And I just seen that Brianna Stewart had not Brianna Stewart, but Aja Wilson had it. Was it a 30-point double or she had a
Yep.
double the other week?
Yep.
The last
Yesterday.
game?
Yesterday.
Yeah. I think she is gonna put on another great performance.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not 30-point double, maybe more so 20, 10 rebound, 25, 10 rebounds in three blocks. Because I know she was also in that running of defensive player of the year too. I know that much.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah.
Okay, Dre, and speaking of this matchup between Aja Wilson and Brianna Stewart, it's interesting how in the NBA and in the WNBA, it's always about pairings and almost like a twin programming concept. So in the NBA, you had Magic and Bird, and then you had LeBron and KD. In WNBA, you had Candace Parker and Maya Moore.
LeBron and KD.
And then you had,
can't believe this guy.
and then you have Aja Wilson and Brianna Stewart. That's what this reminds me of, just that dynamic matchup between the two and how they're able to go at each other and still be dominant. And you talked about Aja Wilson's performance last game. They've actually both had 30 points in game 2.
Oh wow. Okay.
Right. And that was the first time that had happened since 2011. And as of right now, both these players are in the top 15 all time in WNBA, if you had to ask me. But just talking about the series right now, the thing that has made Vegas successful so far is when they double Brianna Stewart in the low post. But what they do is they put in a smaller guard and Jackie Young on Brianna Stewart. So that way, when the help comes on the weak side, it's a big. So you're taking away that passing lane for Brianna Stewart. But what that means is now you have Tina Charles on the weak side for Seattle, who has to be more proficient than what she's been in this series, and she has to be more efficient scoring. And the issue with Seattle is that Brianna Stewart hasn't had much help. Drew Lloyd, though she is averaging 15 points, is shooting below 30% from the field. Sue Bird has, you said it's her last season. She hasn't been able to give much in terms of scoring, but she has been able to dictate and control pace. And Tina Charles, like I said, has been able to score, but not at an efficient clip. So I think defensively, man, Vegas has been putting Seattle in tough spots. The issue is with Vegas offensively, Kelsey Plum and Chelsea Gray and Jackie Young have not been scoring efficiently and at a high percentage, but they are getting to their spots. So I think it's just a matter of time before they continue to shoot the ball well. And then Vegas is also missing De'Erica Ambry right now. So when she comes back, that gives more versatility defensively, man, for Vegas, but also with the return of Gabby Williams for Seattle, that creates more offensive nuance and more spacing for Seattle as well. But I don't think this I think the series will go 5 games, man. But I got Vegas winning this
Mm,
series, bro. And Kelsey Plum's going to be key as well. You know, she's third in the NBA scoring, first in 3-point percentage, man. If she can continue to get to the bucket and create space and drive lanes, man, I just don't. I don't see Seattle being able to compete with Vegas,
okay. Okay. We're gonna see. I also agree with you. I have the Aces winning this one. I just I don't know. As much as like you said before, a lot of sporadic scoring, a lot of doubling. So I just don't see how Seattle kind of pull those what is it out of five? It's out of five, right?
yeah.
How they pull two out of the next three out. So I got you. Yeah.
But Dre, the other
What's
series,
up?
man, the other semifinals, we got
Mm,
Chicago Sky and Connecticut Sun. The series also tied at 1. Um, I'll go ahead and chime in on this one here real quick. I don't
you
think
got
this.
it.
I think the series is over, man. I think Chicago's gonna.
You said that so fast.
I just want to get out there, man, before you before you get out. But I think the series is over, man. I know it's tied at 1, but Chicago struggled immensely offensively, man. I like what Chicago's doing defensively with blitzing those ball screens, and I think that they found their footing offensively in game 2. Uh, Kalia Copper is found her rhythm, which I think Kalia Copper might be the third best player in the league right now. Uh, Candace Parker, when she's in rhythm, when she's running the lanes and controlling the defensive end, Chicago's unstoppable.
Mm,
Manuel Quigley, when she's shooting the ball well, she's creates a lot of space for Chicago. And then Courtney Vandersloot, when she's controlling tempo, Chicago's nearly unstoppable, one of the best
yeah.
offensive teams in the league. Uh, the thing with Connecticut, man, they don't have a lot of scoring from the perimeter, man. I mean, they got Jonquel Jones inside, and they moved. Oh goodness, her name's slipping my mind, but
Uh-oh.
it'll come back to me, man. But anyway, they've got Letitia Heidemann and Dejanay Carrington, who are point guards, not primarily scorers, man. But they moved DeWanna Bonner over to the outside to 2-3 to provide more scoring from perimeter, but I don't think that's gonna be enough now. So I got Chicago win the next 2 games, man, and going on to the finals.
Okay. We'll see what happens. I will also go to Chicago. I like you said before, first of all, they have the GOAT on their team. So not the
The
GOAT, but she's one of the greatest players of all. She is one of the greatest WNBA players of all time, Candace Parker. They do have she's on the Chicago Sky. So
oh
yeah, I'm gonna go with the
top
Sky
three?
also. Think top three.
I don't think she's top 3.
Wow. Top five?
Maybe, maybe. Because top 3, bro, I think you got to put Cheryl Swoops and Cynthia Cooper in the top 3, bro. I think she's top 5.
I'll
Candace is top, and he's still got Maya
I'll give it top
Moore.
five. Maya, don't look. We all wanted Maya Moore to keep playing. Believe me, I know, but yeah, she gave it up, man. She
Go ahead,
so
no, say what you're about to say.
she gave it up for a better cause. We understand, but I did want her to keep hooping.
Okay, all right. I'm not gonna probe you on that one. We'll save that for the Patreon account.
Oh my god! All right, all right.
All
What
right,
we
but
have?
Dre, so now we've got. Go ahead, got it. You got it, baby. Go for it.
Look, guys. We all knew this was going to happen. We didn't know when it was going to happen, but we knew it was going to happen. The Donovan Mitchell trade. Ooh. Thoughts. What are your thoughts on it so far? First seeing it, what were you thinking?
I I was well. First, I found out because my dad called. And he's like, "Hey, did you see Donovan got traded?" And my first thought was, "Okay, New York finally traded for him." But then I saw the, on ESPN, it was the Cavs got traded to the Cavs, and I was like, "Man, this is surprising." The timing of it, at least we talked about this, and then I thought to myself, "Well, RJ Barrett did just sign that extension in New York, so now that also makes sense why New York didn't trade for him." But it's more so a shock the timing of it, Dre. Um, Cleveland gave up a lot, man. Was it 3 first round picks,
Are
2
you
flops?
Are we
and
serious?
Lauri Markkinen
Are we
and Colin
serious?
Sexton and another player.
I got you. Here we go. You ready?
I think that's a lot. That for a player that has yet to make it past the second round. And
He's
for
in Utah. What are you talking about here?
they made it to the playoffs 4 consecutive seasons.
They were number 1 seed one season. I remember that. Or the top 2 seed one season. Yes,
Yep.
I do agree with that. They have a lot of they've had a lot of shortcomings. They had a lot of friction, inter-team friction, which is very, very weird for a small market team that didn't necessarily accomplish that many things yet. I agree. These are all things I agree with you. But when you can get D Wade with a jumper, you got to get him.
Are you willing to mortgage your future for that though?
What do you, Kashawn, you're getting a 25, 24, 25.
25.
You're getting a 25-year-old superstar. I'm calling it now, superstar.
Superstar.
Okay, no, just listen to me out. Hear me out.
Okay.
So one of the things for the Cavs last year? What did they really struggle with? Because they were really, really good. What they struggle with?
Scoring.
Okay, you answered that with Donovan Mitchell. That's 20, 27, 26 points a game right there.
Yeah.
So you got that. You already have so many young players because all their core is all at the 8. They're all under 23. Garland, I think, is 22 or 21. Mobley just had his first year in the league. I'm trying to think their big man they just paid. Jared Allen is not over 24. He's not over 24. I think he's around 22 or 23. So you have those two, and then they have a Koro who is I think is going to turn into a 3-and-D guy. And then you have Colin Sexton. Yes, you give up Lauri Markkinen, which is 3-point shooting, but he was also a defensive liability. Yes, he's 6'10", and he would just let people go into the lane, and you got Mobley or you have or Allen there to contest everything. But you're also like, people don't realize. I understand that it is like you have those two bigs, but it's a guards, like you have to be able to guard the perimeter. There's no way around that. You gave up Colin Sexton, but he just tore his ACL last year, which isn't his fault. But I said this earlier on, and we can go back and we can clip this. I said eventually they're going to have to make a decision on either they're going to keep Sexton or Garland, and Garland is better than Sexton.
You did say that. You called that. You did. But Dre, the issue I have with this is that what is Cleveland's ceiling now with Donovan Mitchell on that team?
With all honesty, I think now they are a top 4 or 5 team in the East, but Garland is only in his 3rd year of the league, and I think Garland is special, like truly special. He is so quick, all with the ball in his hand, and on top of that, he's so creative. And then I think in a pick and roll situation, he's really good. Only thing that I worry about with Garland is how is he going to coexist now with another star on their side, another star with them,
and a ball dominant star at that.
I mean, but you were going to get that with Colin Sexton, another ball dominant guy. Yeah. They'll find a way to share the ball. They're gonna have to find a way.
Well, how do you think Donovan Mitchell is gonna adjust to that? Because he's never played with a ball dominant guard that could score. You know, he had Mike Conley, but he was primarily a pure point guard looking to facilitate.
Yeah. Mike Conley that time was already kind of on his down spiral. I think Mike Conley's in his late 30s now.
Yeah.
So I understand that, but that's been one of the knocks on Donovan Mitchell the whole time that he's played in Utah. He's so ball dominant. He shoots it a ton. It was so hard for people to just for some people to be like, hey, your numbers have to get better, right, percentage wise. So I think this kind of answers the question for him too. Also, he's going to have to learn how to adjust to moving without the ball. And like I said before, a lot of Dwayne Wade, I watch in him. Athletic guard, very right hand dominant, which is very funny to me. Super quick is a flash,
Yeah.
but the thing that separates him and D Wade is he learned how to shoot early on in his career, and he's not afraid to shoot it.
Also a
While
championship under 23, but
you saying that like he didn't have Shaquille O'Neal on his team, we're not gonna do that.
a Shaq that was 5 years past his prime and going.
That's okay. You still Shaq averaged 20 points. You got to respect Shaq regardless.
Look at that Miami team that D Wade.
That Miami team was decent. They should not have been in that. That Miami team had pieces that set them up to win. So Shaq, Antoine Walker, I want to say who else?
Gary Payton.
Like they were
Alonzo
set
Mourning.
up to win. Yeah, they were set up to win.
Those
The
guys
only thing was
past
their prime. But we all know that experience wins in the playoffs.
Oh, now experience.
We always say
experience is
But another thing that I will say this about Cleveland. So Cleveland last year was in the play-in, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And who they played that knocked them out?
Oh, Brooklyn, of course. Well, they lost. Well, not Brooklyn. They lost to Brooklyn and lost to Atlanta.
So though both those teams had one thing over, other than KD being able to play,
okay. All right.
But they weren't going to beat Brooklyn. They don't have the experience to beat them. And then they lost against the Hawks, who the Hawks were struggling that whole year for some reason. And they beat them. They beat I want to say they beat what's the name? They beat Cleveland off of pure experience.
Yeah.
Like that's all it was. So now you bring in someone that has that experience of making playoff runs, shocking teams. But I'm just saying, like, I think Cleveland may have got, like, I don't know if a saving grace, but they may have just helped themselves out a lot and made themselves jump a couple years ahead of when we thought that they were like going to be good.
Mm-hmm. Okay, last question, man. Then we'll move on. What level of success is it going to take for Cleveland to justify this trade?
I think a conference finals or a finals appearance.
In what time frame?
Within 3 years. The first year it's going to be a struggle because they're just now playing with each other. The second year, I think by year 4 or 5, I honestly think Garland will make that jump into being one of the best players, one of the best point guards in the league.
Mm-hmm.
If he's not up in the top 7 or 8 already.
Right.
But I mean, like jumping into one of the better point guards of like cannot be guarded. You have to double him. And then I think Mitchell makes that jump up to where he's in his prime and he's being great. And then you have Mobley, who's going to make that jump of one of the better bigs in the league. And Jared Allen is already one of the best shot blockers in the league, who I don't understand why Brooklyn traded, but we're not going to go with that one.
We'll say that for another time.
Yeah.
So can I have you on record saying that Cleveland will get to the conference finals or NBA finals within the next 3 years? Is that what you're saying?
Let me think. Let me see. Let me think. Let me scope it out. I mean, the Hawks got to the conference finals and no one thought they'd get in there. So that could definitely happen. So what are we talking about? Like in a year, I mean, think about it. Mitchell went to Utah, who no one thought that first year, no one thought they'd make the playoffs, made it to the playoffs, actually beat, I want to say they beat the Thunder with Russ.
Yeah, your boy Russ.
Yeah. Don't say my boy. I've only rooted for Russ now, more so just because people like clown him and I'd be like, bro, he's not as bad as people make him seem. He's been bad. He was not good last year, but he's not as bad as this is. He's either gonna have to make it work this year or he's out the league. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, well, no, I agree. Well, and we'll have to save that for another time.
Yeah.
but I see
And
you're
then
not committing to this. I see you don't want to say yes or no, but
4 years, they'll make the conference finals within 4 years.
I'm gonna hold you to that, Trey. I'm gonna hold you.
Okay, well, you can write that down.
I
You can
am.
write that down.
I'm gonna write this down.
Only thing that I worry about is, do they have enough defensive presence on the perimeter? Because another knock on Mitchell is that he struggles on defense.
Yeah.
And I hate that about him, but because D Wade was a great defender, like I'm pretty sure he was in the top five for like top five every year for steals.
Mm-hmm.
And also he was I think he made an all defensive team 1 year.
Yes, he did. I think it's 08, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Well, either way, it's going to be exciting to watch this team play for sure, especially coming in next season. So we'll definitely be excited to see them play. Dre, let's go back to college football, man. I know, we've been talking about college football for a little bit. We're welcoming them back into the system. Dre, we do have some breaking news to cover today, though. About 2 hours ago, actually, the College Football Playoff Committee held a meeting, and they decided that they will be expanding the playoff field from 4 to 12 by 2026, and at the earliest 2024. Dre, you know how I feel about this. I think that a lot of this is just about teams not being able to compete with the Power 5 conferences. And so they want to give a quote unquote fair chance because they feel like it's a monopoly with these Power 5 conferences, specifically in the SEC. But Dre, what do you think about this?
A big money grab.
Yeah.
Huge money grab.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the players by that time, bro, can you what is that? Another 3 games that they got to add on?
That's another 3 games on top of their championship at their conference championship games. Yes.
Oh my God. So they're playing what? Was it 12, 13 games in all in college?
Yeah, 12 to 13, yeah, depending on your schedule.
Oh my God. Look, all I know is there's gonna be some injuries, and they're gonna it's gonna feel weird at first. They just gotta hope that star players don't injure themselves, and then they start thinking like, you know what, maybe I don't need to do this, and I'll just save my body for the NFL, such as Jamar Chase, Joey Bosa, and all those guys did that. They know they're going to be top 5, top 10 picks.
Agreed.
And they're going to take away from the fact that I play on a Power 5 team that is supposed to be, going to the championship. Why would I even try I'm already locked in. I can't go any higher. Why would I even try anything? So yeah.
But this could be what they want. This could be what the NCAA wants with college football. They want those players, high market players, to sit out in the conference championship game. So now it could possibly level the playing field when it gets to the college football playoff with these Power 5 teams, man.
But think about it. Like the reason why people watch those games, the reason why people watch just sports in general is the big market names. Like that's why they shop them off so much.
Yes.
So
But Jared, I want to know what you think about this, man, because we haven't had much time to cover it, man, because it just happened. But I'm thinking about this. What could end up happening, man, is that these Power 5 teams, specifically the Big Ten and the SEC, what they could end up saying is we're just going to start our own league of our own, and we'll have our own playoff.
I mean, stranger things have happened. They moved into NIL, so yeah, it could happen.
Because I just don't see how this benefits the Power 5 conferences, man. Unless you can tell me they're going to diminish their conference schedule.
That's the only thing that I can think of that they would do. And I doubt that happens.
No, because I'll be losing too much money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we can thank UCLA and USC for moving to the Big Ten, man. Because that move has definitely escalated.
That blows my mind. Think about that. USC and UCLA playing in the cold. What?
I know you Cali boys ain't used to that, man.
Bro, think about this. Cali dudes are going to Ohio State. First of all, or Michigan is freezing. Oh my God, I couldn't imagine. I don't know. I would
Well,
never have thought that.
and let alone the travel, the travel time to get.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, but we'll
I mean,
definitely go ahead.
but it doesn't even like it only makes sense for football money wise, but UCLA or USC moving it for basketball wise makes no sense at all.
Oh no, but this move was specifically for football, and you can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I want to say one more thing, Joe. I want to see what you think about this. Actually, it's also reported that Oklahoma and Texas are trying to move into the SEC by 2024. By 2024 as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, the SEC, that would only help them because no one realizes this. Texas has their own network. Uh, Anyone that is not a Texas fan that does not know what like Longhorn Network is, that is legendary. It literally shows nothing but Texas football, Texas like sports 24 hours a day, every day for 7 days of the week for 52 weeks out the year. Like that is insane. But
Yes.
that's how much money Texas brings in. And then on top of that, it makes sense like geography wise because Texas and Oklahoma is right there next to the Alabamas, the was like Texas
The
A&M,
LSU's.
the LSU's, like it's right there geologically wise, like it makes sense. But as far as being competitive wise, Texas doesn't even dominate the Big 12. Oklahoma dominates, but they also don't win it every year, but they're always in the top three. But
Yeah.
they struggle against SEC teams. So I don't understand why they would even want to go into that area because now you're going into the area of the Alabamas that you only see once a year, the LSUs that you only see once a year, the Georgias you only see once a year, and like well, who else? Who else usually come? Or the Auburns that you only see once a year. I just don't see the it doesn't make sense. You're never I don't know if you ever get back into a national championship now if you're them.
Financially, though, you would be you'll be well off in the SEC, and
Oh yeah.
that's the only thing I can think
Yeah.
of right now.
But once you start losing, this is what I will say. The only faithful fan base there's only like 3 or 4 faithful fan bases I've ever seen, regardless if they're losing or not, they're gonna say they're winning it every year.
Go ahead.
Notre Dame, Texas. Every year, bro. Every year. So Notre Dame, Texas. Um, I can't say Alabama because Alabama does not lose. I hate to say that.
Thank you.
Alabama, yeah, regardless of what it is, Alabama and Ohio State. Those are the 4 teams that have the like, oh no, and USC. They have a stronghold over their fan base. Everybody else is like fair weather. If they start losing, they ain't even watching them no more. We just being honest here.
Kind of like the Cowboys, right?
Bruh, every year, this is our year. Nah, I don't think so.
No.
Nah, it's not your year.
Well, Dre, it'll be interesting to see the college football landscape with this breaking news coming out today. But I know whatever happens, me and you will be here to cover it, man. Dre, we're gonna talk about something we never talked about before, man.
Uh-oh. What is it?
Tennis. Tennis.
That is a new one.
Right. Obviously, we're doing this because Serena Williams will be retiring after the U.S. Open. Dre, and for those who don't know, she's currently in the third round right now. She's playing tonight as we speak. She upset the number 2 second-ranked player in the world on Wednesday, and now she's in the third round today. Dre, her impact, man. What has her impact been not only on tennis but on the sports world as a whole?
Serena Williams is, and we talked about this before. I think she's one of the top 10 athletes, top 10 best athletes of all time.
Okay.
She may, in my opinion, she's top 5 best athletes of all time.
Yeah.
I think she brought a lot of attention to women's tennis, especially from the US base, because when people think of tennis, they would think of her face, especially women's tennis. She's been dominant ever since she was like what 2009 and on. She's been dominant. Um, like she's the realistically the gold standard of what you want to your career to have. Some of the most consecutive, well, yeah, the most consecutive number ones, the second most titles of all time, second most US titles, US Open titles of all time, well, Grand Slam titles of all time. Um, when they talk about rivalries, they try to make her a rival with someone who she beat 20 to 2 times, 18 to 6 times, and then with her sister, she was 19 to 12 times.
Yeah.
And that's like she rarely loses. That's how great she is. And when she does lose, it's a breaking story.
Right.
And on top of that, she won a US Open as pregnant. That is crazy. So, like I said, man, like when you think about great athletes, Serena Williams has to be up there and one of the greatest athletes of all time. She's in that boat of them.
Okay. So Dre, so what would your prediction be for her uh, right now in the U.S. Open?
I think she wins. Yes, she's had a little bit of a down slope, but you got to realize that this is her last one. I think it's a better storyline if she wins than if someone beats her. So I think she wins. I think she wins this last U.S. Open, and I think she does it in a dominant fashion.
Yeah.
The usual Serena way. So yeah.
Yeah. Dre, and I do follow tennis quite a bit. Initially going into this U.S. Open, I had picked Isabel Raducanu to win this U.S. Open because she won it last year and she had been playing well in the small tournaments going up to this, but she got upset in the first round to go along with Sloane Stephens losing and Simona Halep is still in it, but quite a few women's players have been upset in this so far in the U.S. Open, and this is something I want to give credit to Serena is that this is the most talent I've seen at one time in women's tennis since I've been watching. I mean, you got Raducanu, you got Halep, you got Azarenka, you've got Sloane Stephens, Coco Gauff, Madison Keys, Naomi Osaka. There's just so much talent now at the women's tennis, and this is credit to Serena because if we had polled the American public on how many people watched women's tennis, could you say less than 10% before Serena got on the scene?
Realistically, yes.
Yeah. And in this past week, this is the most I've seen people talk about tennis in my life, man. I mean, they got tennis matches on over football games, up in the restaurants right now, man. But this is a perfect example of Serena's impact, man. Just watching it right now. But I do think Coco Gauff is going to win the U.S. Open. She's been playing phenomenally, and she's in rhythm right now. She just beat Madison Keys. I don't say this often, but I hope that I'm wrong. I hope that Serena does find a way to win this U.S. Open because could you think of a more storybook ending in sports?
I'll go out on a win, go out with a championship. Yeah.
Yeah. But Dre, it's not often we get to admire and see greatness. So when we do see it, it's important that we acknowledge it.
Yeah. And to put it on top of that, I just think that she's carried the load of that sport, like the fan bases and people turning out to watching. I think she's just carried the load on her shoulders for so long. Like I said, I just think that she's one of the greatest and when I say greatest athletes, I don't mean like when people may not understand like the strongest or the fastest, but I mean just dominant in her sport. She dominated her sport.
Right.
So yeah.
And Dre, you saying this made me think about something. The greatest way to tell your impact on an environment or a group of people is how it stands after you've left and compared to before you've got there. And the tennis world is in a much better place now than when Serena Williams first got on the scene. And it's gonna be in good hands when she leaves, and that's only because of what she's done, for sure. But Dre, real quick, do you have a prediction for the men's side?
Rafael Nadal. I told you who I was picking before this. I told you. There's only so many people. There's only so many like people I know in tennis. Serena Williams is one of them. Rafael Nadal is another one. And who else we got? I only know of Maria Sharapova because she was getting beat so badly. Yes. So I'm going Rafael Nadal.
Oh, Dre, that's all we have for today, man. It's been a great show, man. Are there any shout outs that you want to give in before we head out?
Yeah. Shout out to you. Shout out to the fans. Shout out to my dog, Kashaw, man. Good to see you again, Brody. I'm glad that we're having our next season. Yes. Shout out to, my guy, Lord in the Stitch. You guys need any clothing? I'm telling you the truth. He's really got it. He's coming out with a new line actually called World Mason. It is an amazing line. I think everyone should go and check it out. And shout out to the Most High, man. Thank you so much for every day. That's all I'll say.
Yes, absolutely. None's is possible without the work and grace of God, man. Like you said, Dre, shout out to the fans. None's is possible without them. And Dre, I wouldn't want to do this with no one else, man. I love you, bro. Best host I could ask for, man. But Dre, before we head out, I do want to tell some special news, man. This Monday, we will be adding a blog to our media company.
Oh,
right, Dre. So the fans have been clamoring for it. So now we'll be doing it. So every Monday, we'll be posting a new entry to our blog. You can find that on our website, www.sorrytobotheryoushow.com. We are excited to just continue to grow as a media company with you guys, the fans. But Dre, shout out to the Nerdy in Many Ways YouTube channel. Shout out to Earn Figures. Shout out to the Tapped In podcast. And Dre, I mean, this is welcome back college football, right? Yes. But Dre, we'll be back later next week. We have a live show next week as well, guys. If you haven't already, subscribe to us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Patreon. Stay tuned. We've got some more content coming up. We'll be back again next week. Continue to stay safe, stay vigilant, make smart decisions. And until next time, guys, peace.